Okay, son of a bitch. Son of a gun, people. I am so sorry. I am so sorry. Your brother Zoe is not having a dandy of a night. Where is live? There we go. Can't go home again, part 2. Okay, I should be live at YouTube. There I am. There I am. Okay. Wow. And over at D Live, here we are. And we're back. Audio and video, 5x5. My God, I'm a retard. This is just no fun. It's no fun allowed, people. It's no fun to be a Zozo. Mama, don't let your babies grow up to be Zozos. Son of a bitch. Normally, I can make like 5 clicks and come back relatively quickly. Apparently, that wasn't the case tonight. I don't know what there's Norma. Norma. All right, we've got Norma over there. We're live back at, Lordy. We're live. Yes, we're live back at Rumble. Oh, bless you people. Bless you people. There's people at Rumble. There's people at YouTube. There's people at D Live. People at Pilled Foxhole. I'm sorry. I'm a freaking tard. I'm a freaking tard. Set up your UPS, Zozo. You are so live. You are so correct. I have it. I have it sitting in I know. We all know. I went out and bought that $100 son of a bitch with a battery backup, and yet I continue to not find the time to go and... boy. There's always time to... I'm breaking shit. Yes, Raid, I'm breaking shit. That's what I'm good at. That's what I'm good at. So when we last left our hero, he was sharing with you a brief trip that he took down to Los Angeles. And let's see if I can continue to share this. Let's see where we're at. Let's see where we're at in this little venture, shall we? Turn on the volume. Let's put my video on the screen here. We are, at this point, I have entered Los Angeles. I landed on Wednesday night. I got through the freeway system. I got off in North Hollywood. And let's catch up with our boy right now, see where he's at. Toluca Lake, California. Whipple? Yep.
In a quarter mile, turn left onto Riverside Drive.
Just past the 7-Eleven. Oh, but first, we've got a place to go. Yes. Oh, it's all coming back to me. It's all coming back to me. I lived right here at this intersection.
At the light, turn left onto Riverside Drive.
Yeah. Man, right in here. Right in here. I wish that Adel 412 was with me right now. I used to walk to that 7-Eleven every day for a pack of smokes. Oh boy, here we go.
In 1,000 feet, your destination will be on the left.
Hell yes. Hell yes. Zankou chicken. Zankou, where are you? Gotta be up here. Right in here. Yes. See this joint right here? Zankou chicken. Oh my God. The best shawarma. The best shawarma anywhere. Oh, I have been dreaming about this since I got on the plane. I am in Chatsworth, California, just south of Marilla Street on Owens Mountain. And behind me is the building where I used to work at back in 1978. They used to sell all kinds of interesting bath accessories, fancy faucets and cabinets for your bathroom and all that. I ran the display department for these guys. I used to take the product and go around the corner to where we had a small rented office, and we would build displays. And that's what I did from 1978 to 1979. I'm riding north on Mason Avenue here in Chatsworth, California. I am just north of Nordhoff Boulevard. Now, for years and years, this road did not go through. It stopped right here. You could probably see the difference in the asphalt from here going north. Right through here was some railroad tracks. There was some kind of yep. This road was blocked off for most of the time that I grew up here. Seems kind of crazy now, but they finally put it through, and I'm fairly certain that right up here on the left, yes, right there as a matter of fact, whoa, motherfucker, I worked right here, at this place right here. It was an aircraft factory. It's now something else, but it was a major aircraft factory. We made parts and pieces for all kinds of Boeing planes and Northrop F-18s, F-16s or something back in the day. That was a great job for me because minimum wage at the time was $2.90, and here I got a job making $5 an hour running a receiving dock. I thought I was king shit. $5 an hour in 1979, that was unheard of. That was unheard of. I've got to cut back in for a second. Since I shot that video, I realized that the company I worked for, the company was called Hydro Mill. They were a major defense contractor. We made all kinds of parts and pieces for a lot of the military industrial complex. At the time, you're just a kid, you know. What the hell? You're 21, 22 years old. Making twice what minimum wage was. I thought I was on top of the world. In the late 70s, the Valley was a beautiful place to live. It really was. I'm going to take you to a couple of the homes that I used to live in, but first we're going to stop at one of the schools I went to. One of the schools that I went to. Well, I'm glad not everything is gone. I went a bunch of places today, and they simply don't exist anymore. But this place right here remains special in my memory. Chaminade College Preparatory, a Catholic school for troubled young boys. When I came here, there were no fences. This was wide open. And, yes, that was my school. That was my school back in the early 70s, 72, 73. I went to school here, graduated here in 1973. At least some of those places still exist. Some of them still exist. By the way, that is Chaminade over there, like I just showed you, the school I went to. This over here was a field. There was no houses there. That was a field, and there used to be a guy who sold strawberries. He grew the greatest strawberries, and they sold them right there. Incredible. This next road here, I think, is Corbin, if I remember. God, I'm going way back. This is the Wayback Machine. Yeah, Corbin. This never went through. This dead-ended right here. None of those homes were there. Boy, you can't go home again. When I was a kid, right here at this corner, right here where it says Running Springs, that was a giant ranch. There was no fences. This was a giant ranch owned by Lucille Ball and Desi Arnaz. It went all the way clear down to Lassen, which was the next major boulevard. Holy cow. So in 1971, 1972, I lived right here in Northridge, California. This was my best friend's house, right here. Brian O'Donnell. His mom and dad lived there. That used to be Dicondra, the most beautiful lawn you ever saw in your life. I lived right here on this street to this day. If I could, this is LaMarche. LaMarche Avenue. That was our house. That was our house right there. Oh, that was my bedroom. Those front windows right there. That was my bedroom right there. This remains my favorite house I ever lived in. Of all the places I ever lived. 18829 LaMarche. Oh, the stories I could tell you about this house. My brother and I, that was our garage. That big window right over there. This is where we used to have spook houses and scare the hell out of our neighbors. The neighbors' kids would come over for a quarter. We'd scare them to death. Takes me back to some great times. I'm on Wilbur Avenue, heading north of Devonshire. And right here at the corner of Devonshire and Wilbur, right where you see all these palm trees where it says Belcourt, there was nothing there. That was a field, a giant field, and it went all the way up this next quarter of a mile. Now I've got to interject here. It wasn't a quarter of a mile. The streets, the grid in Los Angeles are set up on 1 mile quadrants. 1 mile. And I can't tell you how many times as a kid I bought my own car. And at that very intersection at Devonshire and Wilbur, how many times when I was in the process of putting a new motor in my car for like 2 months, I didn't have a vehicle. And my dad and I every night would lovingly, we'd bolt on the intake manifold and get put a new motor in my 64 Malibu Supersport. It took some time to get it up and back and running again. And so I had to take the bus again. I would get off, the bus would stop right at that corner. And I can't tell you, at least 5 times that I remember, I would be in the bus and I would look over and there is my mom waiting at the light to go north. She's got my brother and sister in the car. And I said to the bus driver, let me off right here. Let me off right here. That's my mom. I can get a ride. I can't let you out of the bus until I go around the corner. I go, when you go around the corner, she's going to take off up the street. Do me a favor. Honk the horn. Honk the horn, would you? He wouldn't even honk the horn. So the light would change. The bus would go around the corner, drop me at the actual bus stop. My mom would be long gone, and I would have to walk that 1 mile all the way up to my frickin' house. Oh, it pissed me off. God darn it, the memories came flooding back. Just flooding back. Flooding back. Let's go back to the valley. None of this was here. It was a dirt field where little girls used to, right about here right now, there was a little area with a bunch of horses. And right here, for 50 cents, you could ride horses. And there was a house out here on the left that had a pomegranate tree growing over it grew over the fence and you could reach over and pick pomegranates. This was a 4-way stop, believe it or not. A 4-way stop, no street light. Oh man. Yeah, they're right. You can't go home again. Man, it just seems so vastly different than when I grew up here. Make a right here. Yep, Tribune. Take this to the end and make a left onto Krebs. Now, when I was a kid, this street didn't go through either. It dead-ended right down there. It dead-ended right down there. Right up here on the corner. Right up here on the corner was our house. Holy shit, that's it. I didn't even recognize it. It's now yellow. It used to be a dark green stucco. Oh my God, they ripped out all the shrubs. They ripped out all the beautiful trees. They poured concrete all over the place. What the hell have they done to my old house? What have they done to my old house? Oh. This one was a little bit heartbreaking for me. I'm not kidding you. Let me show the video for a second. Let me show the video. So right here in front of my house, all of this was all grass. This was all grass. There were beautiful trees and shrubs here. There was giant freaking Mediterranean cypress right here. The driveway ended right here at the end of the 3-car garage. This was all grass. This was all beautiful grass. The one thing I did like, you see these Mediterranean cypress right here? Well, those were 2 of what were 7 of them. I planted them with my own hands with my dad when those things were 5 foot tall. They now are, my God, they got to be 40 feet tall. No, excuse me. They're bigger than that, 50, 60 feet tall. What the hell? You can't go. What have they done to my house? What have these people done to my house? For God's sakes. Oh, for God's sakes. I used to park my car right here every day. Man, oh man, oh man. These trees have grown exponentially in my lifetime. They were not this big. They weren't even close to this big. When I first moved to California, this right here was the very first house I ever lived in. This one right here. 11060 Viking Avenue. That's where we lived, and I'll show you something really interesting. Right here. The ice cream man used to come up and down this road. Wow, it's so overgrown. I can't believe how big the trees are. I cannot believe how big the trees are. This is where we used to play doorbell ditch with the neighbors. Now right here on the ground, there it is. There it is. Do you see that? You see those burn marks in the concrete? That is from electrical wires. These wires right here. These electrical wires disconnected and fell to the ground and were open grounding on the ground, creating those marks. That had to be 1970, 1969. Can't believe it. Can't believe it. Still there. I took my dad's car once without him asking, and I came right up here to the corner of, there used to be a fire hydrant right where that stop sign is. There's the fire hydrant right there. It's still there. I made this turn too quickly, and I broke the fire hydrant off, and that water ran all the way down the road for 2 hours before they came and turned it off. My dad was out on a business trip. My mom wasn't home. My car wasn't running, and I found the keys to my dad's car. And I, had to go out and score some weed or whatever a 17-year-old does back in those days. And yes, when I made that right-hand turn, I wasn't looking. I jumped the curb, and I hit the fire hydrant with the right front bumper of my dad's car. Thank God nothing happened to his car, but I broke that freaking fire hydrant right off. And yes, it flooded that road, Kenya Avenue, flooded it was 6 inches deep. It was great. One of those things I'll never forget. Oh my God. Where's my fucking cursor? This next intersection brings up great memories. I remember this like there's no... My sister worked at that Shakey's Pizza right there. I can't believe it's still there. And H Salt Fish and Chips. Holy shit, I don't believe it's still there. In this parking lot right here, used to be a Dale's. It's now a Smith Smart and Final. But Okay, funny moment about this parking lot. Funny moment about this parking lot. When I was a kid, you could, when we were, 16, 17, we would go down to apartment complexes. Now, in Northridge, it was very common for there to be underground, not underground parking, but first level parking. And then technically the first floor of an apartment and the second floor of the apartment were raised up in the air. They were on pylons. And so in the parking lots were fire hydrants. Okay, you break the glass and you take the unit out. Well, back in the day, it wasn't like the fire extinguishers of today. Okay, back in the day, the fire extinguishers were like 3 feet tall. They had a big round handle on them that you could unscrew, and on the side of them was an air nozzle, just like on the tire of a car. So the first thing we would do is we would blow out all of the shit, all of whatever the chemical elements are in a fire hydrant, a fire extinguisher. We would blow them all out. Then we would go down to the local gas station and fill them up with water and pump those fuckers up to like 200 psi, right? Fill them up. And we had we stole like 5 or 6 of them. And we would be in my friend's Dodge Monaco station wagon. You know, the kind of station wagons in the late 60s, early 70s that had, seats way, way, way in the back. And there'd be like 5 of us with fire extinguishers, all loaded with water, pumped up to the gills. And we would drive through the parking lots, that very parking lot of the Dale's Food Mart. And as we would drive through the parking lot, there would be people, particularly little old ladies. Those were our favorites. They would be pushing their carts along, going out to their cars with all their groceries. We would just unload on them. We would just hit them with 4 or 5 fire extinguishers filled with water and just soak the shit out of these fucking people and laugh and laugh. We thought that this was the funniest thing we ever did in our life. And then there was the Saturday morning that I went over to my friend Pat Scott's house. And I got there early. It was like 7 o'clock in the morning, 7:30. And Mr. Scott, my friend Pat's dad, was there in the driveway. And he goes, "Hey, Al, you got a minute?" And I'm like, "Sure, Mr. Scott, what's up?" He goes, "Come here for a minute." And he starts walking over to the Dodge Monaco station wagon. He opens up the back, and he lifts up the rear deck, like down where the spare tire is supposed to be, underneath in the way, way, way back of a 70 station wagon. And in the bottom, where the spare tire is supposed to be, the spare tire was leaning against his house, of course. In the bottom of this area are 5 fire extinguishers. That's where we stored them. So for the next time we wanted to go out and cause some mayhem. And he goes, funny thing, last night, I was, Mrs. Scott and I went down to Dale's, and I dropped her off, and I was waiting in the parking lot, and, I saw my station wagon drive through the parking lot, and the next thing I know is I saw people spraying people with water. Were you part of that? I'm like, well, Mr. Scott, he goes, I could have sworn you were with Ed Morris and the other guys last night about, 8 o'clock last night. Weren't you with them? And I'm like, oh, God, my friend's dad has caught me dead nut. What's what? He actually was really, he was really good about it. I mean, there's worse things you could do to people than getting them wet. But one of the best things was just soaking down like kids on their bicycles, just soaking the shit out of them with these fire extinguishers. To be 17 and just a dumb young stoner again, what can I say? What can I say? It used to be a Dale's Food Mart, right here where it says, what is it, Galleria? This used to be a Zodi's. Used to be a little Photomat booth right there. Photomat. And right where you see Goodwill, that was a movie theater. A movie theater. There used to be a ice cream parlor right here. Farrell's Ice Cream Parlor used to sit right where that building is. Gone. Gone. Nothing is as I remember. Nothing. Northridge Park. I used to play there as a kid. Northridge Park. Wow. When I was a kid, where this Jiffy Lube is, used to be a Texaco station. I worked there. And I can't believe that Jack in the Box is still there, but it is, and this is the 7-Eleven. Well, those two things are 50 years old. That Jack used to have the Jack on a spring spinning around in circles. Wow. Some of it is still here. Yes, was it Prairie Avenue? Trying to remember. Trying to go back in time. Trying to go back in time. What street is this? What street is this? It is Prairie. All right. Right where you see, I guess now it's Emley's. That used to be an appliance store. And I used to work at that appliance store, delivering washers, dryers, and refrigerators in my early 20s. Used to be a TG&Y right there, TG&Y. This corner bank, now it is a Wells Fargo. It was World Bank. World Bank. That Vons has stayed, wow, still a Vons after all these years. That seems amazing. But right here in the corner in that bank, it used to be called World Bank. And they had a globe, a giant globe. It was like 5 feet around and it would spin around right in the corner of the glass window right there. It was really cool. On the back side was a little place called the YES, the Youth Employment Service. That's where I got my very first job. I went in there, I filled out an application. They gave me a lead, I went down, and I'm going to show you where I worked. Well, it cracks me up seeing this bus because I used to ride the bus up and down this road, Reseda Boulevard, every day. This is where I got off. This is where I would get off. That was a Pup and Taco. I ate there every day for $1. For $1, I could eat right here. This place that says smog check, all closed up. That was a Pup and Taco. Pup and Taco. Where the 7-Eleven is used to be a Richfield station. And right here, I worked right here. See that little, right where it says Mis Raíces? That was Gimbal Sign Company. I worked right there, 7539 Reseda Boulevard. Leon's Transmission is still there. That's amazing. That place is 50 years old. Wow. I'm going right back to the 70s, man. This is a trip. This was a Chrysler dealership where all of this stuff is. Boy, it looks like fucking Tijuana right now. Looks like Tijuana. Right here was where I had my very first job. This was Gimbal Sign Company. That was was that it? I am on Sherman Way and Canby in Reseda, California. And although it might be hard to believe, this pink building right here, where it says, what is it called? IRES. Right here. This used to be Wolf and Rissmiller's Country Club. This was one of the best premier places to see rock and roll bands ever in your life. I saw Chuck Berry here. I saw Neil Young here. I saw the Tubes here. I saw everybody and their dog there. Okay, again, I have to interject. Wolf and Rissmiller's Country Club. Wolf and Rissmiller were two of Los Angeles' most prominent promoters. And that little club right there had everybody. It was a 5,000-seater in a quaint little tiny place. Mick Jagger, Bad Company, everybody in the world played there. I used to go see Motley Crue there for $5 before they were famous. Before they were famous, I would go and see Motley Crue there. And my dream was to play there. My band did, in fact, play there 2 nights. 2 nights, and one of those nights I have on video. One of my proudest moments to say I used the same shower as Mick Jagger back in the backstage area. Ooh. It's gone. It's just gone. This is something I always admired. Look behind me. Look behind me as far as you can see. And look in front of me as far as you can see. I am on Sherman Way, which is a 3-lane major thoroughfare across the San Fernando Valley. It's like 22 miles long. Back in the early 1920s, the developer named Whitley was his last name, he planted these palm trees. He saw it as a major attraction. He wanted people to feel that California was this oasis, and he was right. These palm trees are 100-something years old. They are 100 years old, and they are still here. It's pretty amazing. Pretty amazing that a guy could leave his mark on the San Fernando Valley for all these generations. So if you ever wanted to know the number one reason why I left Los Angeles, people, this is it. This is it. Traffic, like, I'm so unused to this. Look, as far as it can go in the rearview mirror, that way, this way, there's no escaping it. And this is 11 o'clock in the morning, okay? It's not like this is rush hour people trying to get to work. This is mid-morning, almost lunchtime. Crazy. I couldn't do this again. I couldn't do this again. If you gave me a job that made $1 million a year, I could not do this again. Yeah. Just a brief tour of the San Fernando Valley, where I grew up in Los Angeles from 1969 until 1989 when I moved to Oregon. I have to say, folks, I got to say this, and I mean this. I mean this. Back in the day, in those time frames, that 20-year span, 69 to 89, California was one of the most beautiful places that you could ever imagine growing up. As I described it to you, most of those walled streets, those, gated communities and all of, they didn't exist. They were orange groves. They were open fields. They were, it was wide open. They used to call the San Fernando Valley the Blonde Ghetto. The Blonde Ghetto. It was, and there's not a prejudice bone in my freaking body. You know this, okay? It was predominantly white. I mean, we had a black family move onto our street, and the guys quickly became our friends. In fact, the one guy, Scotty, I always picked him first when we would have, sandlot baseball in our community there on our little streets. Color didn't mean anything to us. It's a person, just a freaking athletic person too. Going back and revisiting the area that I grew up in 50 years ago, the thing that blew my mind the most was the very first house I lived in that I shared with you on Viking Avenue, where the high tension wires came down and ground it out and left its mark on the concrete. Those trees now are they're just enormous. You know, when I was a kid and 10 years old in 1969, those trees were just, 10, 12 feet tall. To see them now 100 and 150 feet tall it's just mind-bending. It's mind-bending. And as the old saying goes, you can't go back again. Maybe some of the houses are still there. The memories are certainly there. I mean, there are things I'll never, ever, ever forget. But just to go back and revisit those great places and the memories that just come flooding back to you. It's crazy. It's crazy to stop and say to yourself, Zoe, well, hang on a minute, motherfucker. That was 55 years ago. 55 years. Where the hell did the time go? Where has the time gone? I don't know. It seems like a blink of an eye. It really just seems like the freaking blink of an eye. Those were wonderful, wonderful times growing up in Southern California. I cherish those moments more than I ever imagined. I spent Friday night, the last Friday that I was in LA. I spent it at my sister's house, and my brother came over, and the three of us were talking, and I shared with them that I went to our different houses, and I went to several of the places that I worked in, and I have to admit, I only showed you guys little clips of the stuff that was still there because so many of my memories have been, as the song goes, they paved paradise and put up a parking lot. What I'm curious about this evening, while I still have a few minutes, and I do still have a few minutes, let me say that I'm extraordinarily envious of any of you who maybe are still in the house that you grew up in. And I've spoken with some of you about this. There's some people who share with me that by the grace of God, for whatever reason, they're still living in the house that they grew up in. Their parents left them the house, or for whatever reason. Have any of you had the opportunity to go back and visit the place where you grew up? Is it as you remember? Do you has it changed drastically? Because I have to say, I mean, I left a big freaking piece of my heart on that that asphalt back there over the last 4 days. It's like I walked away and went like this, shaking the dust from my boots as I walked away. It was almost, as much as there were some just phenomenal memories. It was painful. It was painful at times to see some of the places that I remember having such good times and seeing that they were gone. You know, the places, the little restaurants I used to go to, the parks that we played in, it hurts. It just hurts to know that that part is gone, man. It's gone. Here's my dear brother Spud. He always knows how to settle down a Zozo who doesn't have his shit together. Spud, let me turn on the phone here. Can we hear you okay?
Am I turned on?
Oh yeah, you are on, baby.
On.
You are on, my man. How are you doing this fine evening?
I'm doing really good, brother. First of all, I wanted to say thanks for having me and asking me to do that. Last night, it was so fun, and everybody was great. You were great. Sandra, I can't believe she pulls it off. I can't believe she does. I have such respect for her that she can pull that off with Zoom. That is amazing to me.
Oh, dude,
She can put all those boxes and get everybody not to.
Spud,
That is-
Spud. I'm not kidding you. If I showed you right now what my OBS looks like, how minimal it is, how it's so basic. She showed me her OBS, and it's like 70 boxes, and I'm like,
Well, it has to be. Well,
Oh,
it
my
has to.
God.
All those frames and all that.
Oh, my God.
Dude, absolutely. And all those carts that she's popping in there.
holy,
Dude, absolutely.
yeah.
Well, I'm sorry for your loss, brother.
Thanks, my friend.
Uh,
Thanks. It was.
You dear friend, and as you know, I am a native Southern Californian.
Yeah.
Both Mrs. and I we were born in the same hospital.
Yeah, that's. I mean, that's wonderfully crazy.
A little hospital too, Westminster Community Hospital in Westminster, California, which is.
I mean, what are the
County.
odds of that, Spud? I mean, come on.
Well, it's pretty good because it was a popular birthing hospital, and her dad was an FBI agent, and my dad worked in aerospace for the government, basically. It's
Oh, no
government
kidding.
subcontractor, so they had the same insurance and stuff.
Wow.
So, it makes a lot of sense in that way. And Orange County, that's the thing. People don't understand. All of my friends, when I was young and living in Northeast Orange County, 75% of them were in their parents worked in the defense industry.
Yeah.
That was so huge there. My dad worked for Northrop.
Right.
Electromechanical division there in Anaheim, and that's why I couldn't go. I couldn't go to. My dad had a above top secret clearance, and at the time, I couldn't go to. I was in German club. I couldn't go on the German trip because a big part of it, like 2 days of it, was going to go to East Berlin.
Oh, wow.
And they were going to stay there, but I couldn't go because of my dad's security.
Oh, my
They would
God.
not let me.
Wow.
It was just still during the Cold War. It was
Holy.
yeah, I couldn't go.
Yeah.
I could not go.
People, I mean, people don't understand what it was like back then, man. I mean, yeah. You got crossed off the list of something completely innocent and wonderful because of your dad was a heavy hitter. Wow.
Well, I mean, technically, no, he wasn't a heavy hitter. He wasn't. He was not. My dad worked in publications, and he still, I mean, till he retired, and he did that his whole life. It's a unique skill. It's a dying skill. I mean,
Yeah.
now there's AI and stuff, and thank goodness, because there's really not people that can do this. My dad wrote manuals, is basically what he did.
Okay.
You take engineers would take a box, a literal box full of blueprints and their notes, and they would put it on his desk,
And
and
say,
he would lay it all out and have meetings with him and say, what does it do? And he would have to write, and he was responsible for writing all the manuals on how to make it and how to maintain it.
wow.
And you had to write this to 8th grade
Yeah, reading level
because
people.
You're
Right.
writing to a guy in the Air Force or a guy in the Marine Corps.
You have no idea
maintaining
who the
stuff.
recipient is. Right. You have to do it for a third grader. Right.
But here's what the thing is that because of what he did,
Yeah.
he had to know everything. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Dude,
There's
what
a lot of compartmentalization, and he knew more than the engineers about the total, because the engineers that were giving him the pieces,
had to give
they
him all
only
the
knew their
information.
pieces for the most part. But my
Wow.
dad had to know the whole part. That's why I was in that real. And by the time I started dating Mrs. Spud, her dad, he was able. He was able to very quickly cross me off the list because I had already previously been vetted. If
let me
you know what I mean.
yeah, let me ask you this, Bud. I mean, I know it's been a while. I mean, we've spoken a lot. It's been a minute since you went down and spent any time in SoCal, but I mean, the last time that you did, the last time you
Yeah.
crept through your old haunting grounds, the place you grew up. I mean, is it hard to recognize? Is it like, oh my God,
Dude,
I
it
feel
was
like
so
I'm
hard. Well, serendipitously, the last time I was there was for my father-in-law's funeral.
Oh, I mean, yeah.
And he was a great man. I know a lot of people have a lot of feelings about the FBI, and
Sure.
I mean, even in his time, they were doing some shady stuff. But he was a combat career veteran, and he was a patriot, total patriot.
Right on.
But,
Right on.
we were down there, and Mrs. LaDonna is from Tustin. Do you know where Tustin is? In the Marine
absolutely,
base down there?
absolutely, dude.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay, that's where she grew up. I went to high school just north of there in Anaheim Hills. So Anaheim Hills, Yorba Linda, which is where Mrs. and I came from. But
Dude, we're talking tumbleweeds, okay? Rolling hills.
back in the day,
yeah.
Back in the day, Yorba Linda was horse ranches,
Yes!
Anaheim Hills. I mean, we had major fires and stuff.
That's what I'm talking.
With riding, horseback riding, and golf out there. That's what people did.
And now
And it was nothing.
now it's
Nothing out there. And
rows of million-dollar houses.
what I wanted to say was Tustin in particular. So Mrs. isn't from the city of Tustin. She went to high school in Tustin, but she's from Santa Ana Heights, technically.
Okay.
But that area, that eastern area out there.
Yeah.
But now Tustin goes all the way to Irvine, dude.
Dude.
It goes all the way to Irvine. It's all Asians. I love my Asian brothers and sisters. God bless you. But I swear it's that if you know what Irvine, I'm talking about with Irvine, where it's just cookie cutter.
Oh, I know
like
it well.
It's trying to be quirky, but it's so like in the machine, pressed out like a, square blocks.
Spud, so, dude, between 73 and 75, my mom and dad still owned, my dad's company was based in Los Angeles, and then some moron decided to move them in 1973 down to Bonsall, California. Have you ever heard of this? I'm sorry, Temecula? Temecula. Okay.
Yeah,
back in
where the heck is Temecula was a bumper sticker in the 80s.
Dude, so
I had a good friend, Kendra, that was in high school. One of my good friends, Kendra.
Yes.
She was from Temecula. She went to and it was a big meet in our school.
Dude, in 1973, Temecula had two streets.
Nothing.
Two streets, okay? And my dad's company, this huge worldwide international freaking company, Borg Warner, moved down to this little armpit little town because rent was cheap. They couldn't even get machinists down there. All right, it was the most ridiculous business move I've ever heard of in my life.
I can show you in Temecula today. I can show you a $55 million, 20-acre wine estate in Temecula today. Yeah. By the way, can I just say that?
Yeah.
That's the kind of difference that is in Temecula between.
Dude, I remember my dad turning to me in the car and saying, Albert, they are selling land down here for $1 an acre. He goes, I could buy all the acreage as far as you can see, but why would I want to do it? I wish to God that he had, because Temecula is now I don't know when's the last time you've been to Temecula. They've got like the best school system in California. It is hugely developed. The tumbleweeds are long gone. It's insane.
And for the ultra rich, my first wife's grandfather bought a huge chunk of Palma Valley, which is just south of Temecula, down across into the San Diego County border, very, very north of San Diego County, not close to the city of San Diego at all. But
they must be billionaires today.
Yeah. So, he was a very wealthy man, but it was for me the last time I was back. And I got to see, some old friends and stuff, which was
wonderful.
I mean, that was really good.
Oh yeah.
But there was definitely the you can't go home again.
No.
I couldn't tolerate the traffic. So every once in a while I have to put up with Portland traffic, which is terrible. But it is nothing. I mean, nothing compared to driving in Los Angeles. Because at least in Portland, you can take some kind of side road around it, even if it takes as much time. You're not dealing with the absolute aggravation
Of sitting still and rolling forward 15 feet and sitting still. Yeah, I agree.
You can't do that in Los Angeles. There's no side street. The side streets are even more jacked up. You can't, there's no way. You got to get on that freeway and do the grind. And I've done it so much, from Orange County to San Bernardino to Orange County to Hollywood. That's the worst.
Dude,
what's worse is Burbank. Going to Burbank from Orange County in the morning.
That is why I bought my first motorcycle. Because I couldn't take the traffic back in the 80s, okay? In the 80s, I would just white line it right through the parked cars because I couldn't stand it. Dude, today, holy crap. The San Diego freeway going from the San Fernando Valley over the hill, dropping down by the Getty Museum, going into West LA, is 7 lanes in each direction. 14 lanes.
And it's been under construction. It's been under perpetual construction since 1974. They've never stopped constructing this mother.
It's insane. It's insane, dude. I have never been so happy in my life to step off of that freaking airplane and get back to my little 2-lane freeway. We got 2 lanes in each direction, and there's no traffic. And I said, I'm home, baby. I'm home.
Yeah. Amen. Well, it's a little, I can't complain. We've had no snow this year so far. I mean, 0 snow, which is really unusual. But it's been cold. It's like mid-20s at night. And it's just cold. I mean, I do miss the weather a little bit.
Spud, it was 77 during the day, and it got all the way down. It got all the way down to 51 at night.
Yeah, that's a typical thing.
That is the sole thing. Take apart my brother and my sister. That weather in Southern California is the most beautiful weather in the world, and they can. And I'll swear on a Bible to that.
I've never lived in San Diego, but I'm telling you, I've spent enough time in the city of San Diego to tell you that the best weather on earth is in San Diego.
They have
if you could live, if it wasn't the shithole in some places and you could afford to live in the places, which you absolutely cannot. You can't afford to live in the really nice places.
No, you can't.
Coronado and stuff like that. You're not getting in there. Which would be it's just absolutely gorgeous. I mean, it's amazing. It's amazing.
Oh.
But anyway. Well, look at the time, brother. I better let you go.
Spud, I love talking with you, man. I mean,
I love talking with you.
I mentioned on one of my the last time I talked to, when you and I hung out on your front porch on my last cross-country trip, I spent like 2 hours with you on the front porch. I could have done that all afternoon. You're just such an interesting guy and just so laid back and such a groovy friend, man. I appreciate you more than you'll ever know, my friend. Thank you so much.
Well, that morning was very special. I will always remember that. I could hang out with you all day too, brother, and I always enjoy talking to you. You are, you have qualities. You bring out the best in me because I'm not the best, like most outgoing person all the time, but you bring that out. You bring that out in people, and I think that's your special gift.
I
God
love
bless you, brother.
Love you, my friend.
I love you.
Thanks for the call.
All right, take it.
Okay.
All right.
My buddy T.L. Spud, he knows of which I speak. He grew up in paradise. SoCal in the 60s, 70s, 80s. It didn't get any better than that. It really didn't. Now here is a great human being Folks, I love this man right here. This guy is the real deal. Mr. Rick Carmen, how the heck are you doing, buddy? How's everything in your world?
Oh, talking about paved paradise, huh?
They paved paradise and put up a parking lot. Now, you, dude, you live on Long Island, okay?
Yes, I do.
I loved Long Island for the fact that it's like you can still drive through Long Island, which is New York, okay? New York, but there are farms and there are farmhouses and you live in a very, very special place, my friend. But I'll bet you've seen it grow up.
It was so much better when we were teenagers, okay? And I can tell you that, that to be true.
We'll share some of that. This is exactly what I'm after, man.
Yeah. Well, I'll give you an example from my own. We're talking about the home that we grew up in.
Mm-hmm.
The home that we grew up in is still in my family.
Wow.
My nephew owns the house that I grew up in right now.
Fantastic.
Okay. Well, it is fantastic, but I have a little beef about it also. My bedroom, I grew up with 8 siblings.
Wow.
There were 9 of us. Yeah, 5 girls, 4 boys.
Wow.
Yeah, so, and it was a Cape Cod. We had 2 massive bedrooms upstairs. 3 girls and 3 boys were up there, and then we had 1 bedroom downstairs. When I was like 5 years old, my immediately older sister shared that room with me. We had remember what do they call them? The riser beds?
Yeah.
You pull one out. Yeah.
Yeah.
When I was like 5 and she was like 9, we shared that room together. And I have a younger sister. She slept with my mom because my dad had passed. But eventually, all the girls moved upstairs, and I was downstairs in my own bedroom on the first floor. Now, my bedroom was looking from the street, it was on the bottom floor, back right of the house.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And the other important feature you need to know is that the sewer line was on the left front of the house, okay, going to the street.
Okay. All right.
So, but when my nephew decided to rebuild the house, he ripped out everything. He managed to put the bathroom where my old bedroom was. And I'm like, even if you want to cross diagonally, you had to run a 100-foot of pipe, a 3 or 4 inch sewage pipe to get to the street outlet. And it's like, and I always wondered, were they trying to send me a message? My former bedroom became the bathroom.
So, Rick, when's the last time you had a chance to putt through that neighborhood?
I haven't been there in probably about 4 years.
Yeah.
If I had to guess. I still have family there, so I do go in and visit.
Right, but I mean, when you do, is it just dramatically different than when it was when you were a kid? I mean, are there?
Oh, it's changed drastically. The only thing that hasn't changed is that when I grew up, we knew everybody in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
And I still know everybody in the neighborhood. So there's fewer around, but it's like when I go into town, I will see people and it'll be like, I know them and they know me.
That in itself is a wonderful feeling, isn't it? Even I bumped into a guy at the funeral the other day. We had a celebration of life. I bumped into a guy that I hadn't seen in probably 14 years, and honestly, the two of us barely recognized each other. But wait a minute, you're Andre, aren't you? And he goes, wait a minute, are you Al? And I'm like, yeah. And it's like 14 years just disappeared. We were right back where we were when we last saw each other. And that part is wonderful. It really, it warms a guy to his soul, Oh,
yeah, it does, because people remember and know you. I mean, and that really is, what family is all about. My mom was so connected to the community. Mm. And she was a sweet old lady, But the thing was is that she knew everybody and everybody knew her.
Yeah.
Because of that, everybody knew us. You know, it's like my younger daughter went with me, and this is probably 10, 15 years ago. We went to, because I was keeping a boat there in town, and we went out to bring things out to the boat, and she was walking down by herself because we were walking in intervals. And when she was walking down there, one of my former neighbors, people that I know, saw her, and she's like, "Oh, you have to be a Carmen." And she's like, "Who the hell is this guy?" And I was like, "Yeah, because we have distinct characteristics."
Sure.
He could tell just by looking at her what family she was from. I was like, my daughter didn't understand this because she's not exposed to it. But it was like, you're in a town that knows your family.
Yes.
Know you well.
Yeah.
And
Hey,
even
baby,
though
your
you-
dad is somebody.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
I love it.
And that I miss because I don't really have that here in my community. I mean, people know me, and they don't necessarily know my children. But the thing is that when I grew up, it was like you couldn't go, a mile away from your home without people knowing who you were.
That is, I love that, Rick. I kind of wish that for my kids, but I know it's just never going to be like that.
It's getting harder and harder. Yeah.
It is. It is.
Yeah.
I'm very thankful. I'm very thankful for your call, Rick. Thank you for sharing some of your memories, man. That is it's a beautiful thing. I mean, it's
Yeah.
it's
Well, like I
sad, but
said,
it's
the important part is that my bedroom is now the bathroom.
well, son of a bitch.
Have a good night.
Rick, great talking to you, my friend. Great talking to you, Martha. All right. Our friend Rick Carmen. We got it from both coasts, from the West Coast to the East Coast. As sad as it is to admit to oneself that you maybe you just can't go home again. There are certain memories, and there are just some things that are so ingrained in your soul. You just have to hang on to them. You got to hang on to them and be grateful for what you had. And I am. I truly am. When I looked back at that chunk of concrete, and I saw that I saw that the marks were still there. They were still there in the asphalt. Some 55 years later, a kid today might be walking down that sidewalk and might look at those little burn marks on the ground and say, "What's that all about?" But I could be the one to say, "Hey, man, I was the little kid your age when I saw those wires going, the glowing freaking, and the guy from the power company was there fixing them. I mean, dangerous as all hell, but just a little piece of history that when I'm long dead and gone, and people walk down that sidewalk and wonder what those marks are about, there was somebody who could tell you. It's crazy. It's crazy. I hope that each and every one of you have taken this evening to just kind of stop and think about how valuable your memories are, because they can't be replaced, people. That you can't replace the valuable memories in your mind. They are there for a reason. They happened. History happened exactly as God laid it out for us. And I hope that each and every one of you have some kind of personal memories that just mean the very world to you. Things that people can't take away from you. I know that as tough as it was for me tonight to visit my old stomping grounds and see how just vastly, vastly different it was. The places that my friends and I used to hang out, the burger joints that we used to all congregate at are gone. They're gone now. The memories live on. That little piece of earth is still there, whether the building is there or not. Whether the building is still there or not. I got my brother Due Diligence calling in. Let me see if I can pipe him in. I hope this works. Double D, are you there? Can you hear me? Which one is it? This one right here. Can you hear me? I'm not getting you on the air. Yeah, I unfortunately do. I took the number off of the line. I really need to, hang on. Let me see if I can do this the old-fashioned way. Due, are you there? Okay, I'm gonna do this Joey Mormon style. Go ahead.
But you just reminded me of something very, very interesting.
Tell me.
And it was here in Washington State when I was about 5 years old. It snowed, and it was right around this time period, some 45 years ago.
When you
I
were,
had a snowball fight with my mother's boyfriend at the time.
yeah, 45 years ago.
Yeah, trust me, my memory is quite long.
That's good.
But we were living in a suburb of Seattle. It was, well, West Seattle, actually. It snowed, and it snowed probably about 7 or 8 inches that year.
Wow, I mean, that's pretty good for you guys.
Oh, yeah, it is. But this guy wanted to have a snowball fight. I made a snowball, and I threw it up in the air. And I will tell everybody right here, right now, make damn sure that you don't have your butt crack exposed. Because that's exactly where that damn snowball landed. Right in his butt crack.
And
Now, no, go ahead. Go ahead.
and end of the snowball fight after that.
Well, I'll be honest with you. I ain't never heard a man scream that damn loudly.
That is beautiful. Oh man, I mean, you guys typically will get a couple of little like 1-inch dustings, right? But 7 inches, I mean, that's a pretty remarkable snow for your area.
Well, we get that every 5 or 6 years.
Okay, yeah, that's same here. Yeah.
But yeah, so when you get a massive snowfall, we get a massive snowfall as well.
That's awesome.
Matter of fact, I believe we get it first before you do.
Yeah, you're right. Wow.
The biggest thing is, the only reason why I called in, and the only reason why I said that, and yes, it is a true story. I wish my mom was alive to tell you, because she watched it happen. And I was on the opposite side of a car, and all I did was just throw that snowball straight up in the air. And all you hear was, I've never ever heard a man scream like that.
Ice cold snow in the crack.
Yeah. But you know what? Because of everything that you've been going through this week, also, dude,
Yeah.
I think you needed to laugh.
Dude.
That right there was probably one of the best laughs you could ever get.
I appreciate it more than you'll ever know, my brother. It's just an absolutely perfect way to end the show.
You're more than welcome.
I love you, my brother. My friends, I am pleased to tell you that next Saturday night, Due Diligence is going to be one of our contestants on the Foxhole Square. So there's a reason for you to tune in right there. Right there. Double D is going to be one of our contestants.
Oh, wait a minute. If everything goes the way it's supposed to go, I'll probably be the longest lasting contestant on Foxhole Squares.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Double D, always
All right.
great. Always great to talk to you, my brother. Have yourself a great night.
I will. You do the same.
Thanks,
I will
my friend.
Catch you very, very soon.
Thanks so much.
Good night.
Okay. Due diligence right there. I tuned into his show. He's got a fantastic Sunday afternoon show on the Foxhole. Beers and Bros. You got to beer and bro responsibly. If you are not familiar with due diligence, by all means, check into him Sunday afternoons. He comes on just before 3 Beer Men. So there's a great way to spend your Sunday afternoon, especially if it's cold and shitty outside, man. Hang out with the good boys. Anyway, I want to thank all of you wonderful, wonderful folks for hanging out with me this evening. It has been just my pleasure to spend some time with you. I'm going to put a little something in that treasure chest over there at D Live. And then over here at Pilled Foxhole, let me shout out some names real fast. Girl Patriot, thank you so much. Girl Patriot and Due Diligence. You guys, thank you for your gold pill donations, keeping this boat afloat. It means the world to me. It really does. I'm going to be releasing the scratching over there at Pilled Foxhole. It is hereby released, and so is the treasure chest. The treasure chest is coming your way right freaking now. Yes, 20 seconds away. 20 seconds away. I have to say, folks, after, I'm used to my regular Wednesday night broadcast, my Friday night broadcast, my Saturday morning broadcast, and my Sunday night broadcast, to miss out on a whole bunch of those this past week due to the running out down south for the funeral was I missed it. I really, really missed it. You guys are a huge part of my life, and I appreciate you more than you ever know. Look at this. The luckiest followers this evening over there at D Live. Peggy Dancer on top of the heap. Well, way to go, Peggy. Good to see you on the top of the list. Lynn Winters, look at you go. You go, girl. You freaking go, baby. Rick Carmen, good to see you on the list. Artist 61, way to go, Peg. And Mad Pogue. Fantastic. Fantastic. Good for you guys. Good for you guys. I see that gold pills are a-flowing. Gold pills are flowing over there at Pilled Foxhole. That is fantastic. Fantastic. All right, folks. Your brother Zoe missed out on dinner tonight. Mrs. Zoe didn't quite have it ready to go at 6 p.m. when I had to fire up on the air. So I can't wait to get in there and get a gander at what's for dinner. But I can tell you, I'm pretty damn excited. Whoa. Son of a bitch. That about deafened me. Okay. All right. I am going to motor on down the road. I want to thank each and every one of you for joining me here tonight on the Mystery Ship. And I look forward to seeing you this coming Wednesday. Wednesday night, folks. Bring your noodles. Wednesday night is going to be the multi-platform challenge. It's going to be Foxhole versus YouTube versus Rumble versus D-Live versus Twitch. Okay? Bring your noodles for the trivia challenge. I can't wait to see you all. It's going to be a lot of fun. Wednesday night, 6 p.m. Pacific. Immediately after Quite Frankly. Come join me. I look forward to seeing you. Have yourselves a fine rest of your week. Wait. Have a wonderful rest of your week ahead. That's what I meant to say. Have a wonderful week ahead. I've got to cue something up here that I had queued up, but damn it, when I kicked the power cord of my phone, everything went to hell. There it is. All right. We'll catch you on the flip side, people. Have a great week. I love you lots. See you down the road.